Hey friends, welcome to today's video. I am like beaming ear to ear with this smile on my face. My face is starting to hurt. I've been trying to film this for like 30 minutes already and I just keep like blubbering all over myself. I'm just so excited. So fair warning, this video may be wordy. I'm gonna try and stay on topic, but I get to share with you something that I could not be more excited to share. And I'm like a giddy kid on Christmas. Like, I'm not even kidding. That is the best way to describe how I feel right now. Today, I will be sharing the BK Beauty and Nikki LaRose collaboration. And I really couldn't be more excited, you guys. I am so proud of this launch and just so excited for you guys to get these brushes and try them. And before we get into the set and I show you each brush, in this video I will be demonstrating each brush and showing you the different ways that you can use it. I did my full makeup today using these brushes and only these brushes. So don't worry, you're gonna get all the details, the price point, all of that will be in this video. But before we get started, I wanna share the background of this collaboration and really how it came to fruition. So like many of you, I'm a big fan of Nikki LaRose. I actually remember seeing Nikki on Mixed Makeup's YouTube channels and Susan Yara's videos like years ago before Nikki had her own YouTube channel. And so when she started her YouTube channel, I started following her about a year ago. I was, she was a familiar face. And as the more and more that I watched her content, the more and more I was just blown away by her. I was like, wow, she is not only an incredibly talented makeup artist who is still a full-time working makeup artist in LA. She does celebrities and red carpet makeup and just this, she has this beautiful like a glam style that is just classic and just, oh, I just love her makeup style. But on top of that, she is an exceptional makeup educator. When you watch her videos, it is like a full-on makeup masterclass, makeup school. Like, she just dives deep. She loves to teach it in a way that is so easy to digest and so non-intimidating. And I just love that. I love that about her content. So when I started watching her videos about a year ago, well, actually it's been probably a year and a half ago, I started watching her content. And I remember thinking like, she is something special. You know, she is something special. It just reminded me of like old school YouTube, and I could just see this relationship that she had with her audience and how authentic and how genuine and how passionate she was. I was just like, we have to do something with her. She's incredible. And so I reached out to her about a year ago through Instagram, and she was already a fan of the brushes. She'd been using BK Beauty brushes for a long time. And so we were seeing that content populate that she was sharing us. And so that gave me a little bit of courage to reach out. And like, I felt like I was asking her on our first date, but I was like, what do you think about a collab with BK Beauty? And that's kind of how it started. And it just felt like such a natural fit because she was already a big fan of the brand and it was so authentic. And I was such a big fan of her. And she really speaks to this like pro artistry element that we have here at BK Beauty. For those of you that don't know, I was a pro makeup artist and I was a MAC trainer for years before, well, in another lifetime before I started my YouTube channel. But I also love teaching makeup and I also love making it attainable, easy to digest, and just taking away all the intimidation about makeup so that you can really incorporate what you learn here on my channel into like your everyday makeup routine. So I just resonated with Nikki and I felt so aligned with her. And a dream that I had for BK Beauty was to really lean into the pro makeup artist community. We have a lot of professional makeup artists that use and love our brushes. And I wanted to like bring them into the development of our products and help us develop products that they love, that they would use on clients, but that also are very easy for everyday women, the consumers, to use on themselves, and really just inspire this creativity so that you can feel like your own pro makeup artist, like be your own pro. We really wanted to lean into the makeup artist community to help us develop that. And so I knew with this pro artist series that I wanted Nikki to be the pro makeup artist to help us kick this off. So I am honored. I am excited. I am over the moon. I am all the things that you could possibly use to describe just giddiness and excitement to share with you the BK Beauty and Nikki LaRose collaboration. It is a 7-piece brush set. These are 7 pro-inspired makeup brushes that Nikki LaRose developed, created herself, entirely herself. She came with this vision. I gave her very little input. I really wanted this to be her creation, and it is available for purchase today on bkbeauty.com. So let's dive through each of these brushes. Let me introduce each of them to you and share with you how I use them and how you could use them. And let's do this. So this is what the set looks like. It's in this beautiful matte box with this glossy finish to represent the glossiness of these brushes. You will see. You can see that they're different than any other BK Beauty brush that we have in our collection. Very pro inspired by the sleek black look. On the back, you have the beautiful picture of Nikki and you have each of the brushes listed out with their name. The brushes are 100% vegan, cruelty-free, just like our BK Beauty brushes. You are seeing an introduction of different color fibers. The fibers in these brushes will slightly vary depending on the brush in terms of the way that they're cut and shaped, and that is really designed for their overall performance. You see that they all have a different aesthetic. They are not just the standard BK Beauty fiber color. They each have a different look. That was very important to Nikki in the development. Some of these brushes actually changed over time. Originally they were a different fiber color, but we kind of leaned and shifted and landed where we did. So there was a lot of attention to detail in the aesthetic of these brushes, but also the performance and shape of these brushes. Okay, let's open these up and see what we have. So when you purchase your Nikki BK Beauty set, it comes in this box and this little tray. So we're gonna go through each of these, and we are gonna start here with the N17. This is the N17. This is the Pro Face Brush. As you can see, there's dual fiber. One side is like our standard BK Beauty fiber, and then on the other side you have this darker brown fiber. So let's talk about the shape of this brush. This brush is shaped to have a little tapered tip at the top, and then it kind of fans out here on the perimeter of the brush. This little tapered tip is designed to help you get into areas of the face that can be a little more challenging to get in with the powder brush. So like right here in the inner of the eye, right on the sides of the nose, you can get right here into the folds of the skin. It's really designed to use this taper tip for more detail work. Now, you can use this brush literally in a limitless amount of ways. I'm going to share with you how I've been using this brush. So I like to use the lighter fibers for the cream products that I use, like cream blush, cream bronzer, foundation, liquid or cream foundations, and then I will use the darker side for powder. So whether that's a loose powder, whether that's a powder highlight, whether that is a powder blush. This brush is going to pick up and apply and blend out product very softly, very naturally. It's going to give a very natural, seamless blend to the skin. Today, I use this brush for my liquid foundation. I use the Dior Forever Matte Foundation, and I use the lighter fiber side to really blend this out. Now, you can use it a couple ways for foundation. If you want to sheer out and get a very natural blend with your foundation, you can use it in long strokes and sweeping motions. If you want to build more coverage, you can use it and by patting onto the skin and building that coverage up. And you'll see me use this both ways. I'm going to include a lot of footage here so you guys can see. You'll see me use it in a pressing motion to build coverage in the center of the face, and then as I get here to the perimeter of the face, I will use larger sweeping motions. This really reminds me of some of the original foundation brushes that we used to see like 20 years ago, before we had like the dense, buff, fluffy foundation brushes and all the brushes looked like paint brushes. But what I love about this is she took that original kind of throwback to a pro foundation brush and she modernized it by making it soft and fluffy. You know, I've always said with the flat brushes, I always had a hard time blending them out. It would do a great job of applying it, but I couldn't really blend it out. This is going to give you both. You're going to have a great application of getting it onto the skin and spreading it, and then those fibers are going to help you blend and sheer it out. I also use this side for cream blush, and I'm going to show you two ways. I actually have one of the other brushes here that I use for cream blush as well. This is going to give me a very like nice soft application of cream blush. So if you really want to control how the cream blush looks on the skin, like how much you apply, I like to use this side of the brush and pick up the blush directly onto, go directly onto the product and then go to the cheek and softly sweep and blend. Again, if you want more, you can press, but I like to kind of softly sweep and blend. So I like to use this when I want a really nice, soft blush application. Then the other side I will use for loose powder. I love setting underneath the eyes with this, or the center of the face. And same thing, you can press if you want to deposit more product, but if you want a really light application, just do a light sweep. It's super, super soft. So it's just going to apply a very nice, natural layer and just sheer it out. It's such a beautiful, beautiful brush. And I love that you can use it for cream on one side and then go directly, without cleaning the brush, use the other side for powder. You can also use this side for powder. It's not exclusively for cream, but if you are going to use cream products with this brush, I would use the lighter side. This lighter side is really designed to kind of pick up more product and deposit more product. And since cream is a little bit thicker, it's going to do a better job of doing that, where this is just going to blend out powders beautifully onto the skin. Use it for powder highlighters, loose powders, powder bronzers, powder blush. Whenever I want a soft veil, this is the brush I go to. And this is the N17. Next up, we have the N15, and this is one of my personal favorites because it's unlike anything that we have in the B. Actually, all of these are unlike anything that we have in BK Beauty collection, honestly. But this one particularly I love because I use it for so many products on the face. So this is a powder brush. As you can see, it has light fibers here, and then as it gets to the tip of it, it has this really beautiful soft brown color. So I like to use this to set the face with powder when I want a little heavier of a powder application. So whether that's loose powder or if I want to use like a powder foundation and build coverage, I will use this brush. It's a perfect shape and density to really get into the center of the face and build coverage from a powder foundation. I also love this for cream bronzer. I've been using this for cream bronzer a lot. It does a great job of picking up cream product and depositing cream product. Because it is dense at the base, it's going to pick up product really well, but it's extremely soft right at the tip, so it's going to do a really great job of blending that out. The shape of this brush was really important to Nikki when we were developing this. She really wanted it to have a roundness in the center of the brush and a bit of a taperedness here at the tip. All of our brushes are handmade and hand cut. So these brushes and our core brushes are all handmade and hand cut. The detail that went into cutting and shaping these brushes was like on a whole nother level, you guys. So you'll see some really interesting shapes here, and this was one. And this took a couple of iterations to get it perfect, but I'm so happy with where we landed. So again, powder, if you want to deposit more powder, cream blush, cream bronzer. You can also use this for powder bronzer or powder blush. Comparative to this, because I'm saying you can use both of these for the same types of products, which is true, this is going to pick up and deposit more. This is going to give more of like a natural light kind of application. So lighter natural application, this is going to give you a bit of more of a punch. So you can use them for similar purposes, but the application is going to look a little different. Nikki likes to use this for liquid foundation as well. So that's another fun way you can use this brush. This is the N15, the Precision Medium Powder Brush. Next up, we have the N14. This is the Petite Precision Multitasker. And this brush also had a couple of iterations, and I'm so happy with where we landed. So similar to the medium powder, we wanted a very similar shape. So even though they have a different aesthetic, we wanted them to have a similar shape. This also has a lot of roundness here in the center of the brush. And then as you can see at the tip, it tapers out really nicely to really give you that control and precision when you're trying to get into hard to reach places, like right here in the inner corner of the eye, right around the nose as well. You can really get right into the hairline with this brush. So this brush can be used as it's named, as it's a multitasker. You can use it for cream products, you can use it for powder products. When we first got our first samples of these, I was loving this for concealer. It kind of reminded me of our 110, but a smaller version of it. I like to use this for powder highlight, which is what I did today. You can precision powder with this, so if you want to just set underneath the eyes, I did that today, and I used the Easy Bake and Snatch powder from Huda Beauty. So if you just want to kind of highlight underneath the eye, give a little bit of brightness, this is a great brush for that. I also used it to take powder down the side of the nose to kind of make that slight contour on my nose pop. It's a very great multitasking brush. You can use it for a variety of formulas and textures of products. You can even use it to powder the eyelid. It's a good size if you want to do like an all over setting of your eye primer. Like if you want to take a loose powder and set all over your eye primer, you can use this as well. This brush has some density here at the base, but it's nice and fluffy at the top. So it's going to do a great job of picking up product, depositing it, and blending it out nicely. So love this one. Next up, we have the N16. This is the Pro Concealer Brush, and this is one that we worked really hard on. So it's very different than our other two concealer brushes, as you can tell. It's very pro inspired. So it is similar to the N17 in terms of the shape. You'll see some similarities there, really leaning into that pro makeup background. As you can see, the fibers on the tip of this brush are slightly longer. So what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to really like shear out and blend out using the tip of this brush if you like to spread product. So when I apply concealer, you guys will see me apply a lot in the inner corner, and then I'll do a little swipe up here. And sometimes I'll use my finger to marry those two, and then I'll go back in with a brush and blend it out. This brush kind of works as my finger works. So I'll use the tip of it to spread that concealer so that I have coverage coverage underneath my entire eye. I'll use the side of the brush to press and just kind of get as much coverage as I can from the product. Once I've got the coverage that I want, I'll use the tip again, and I will just shear out those edges to get a really beautiful, beautiful seamless blend. I have very, very light pressure when I'm using the tip of this brush, and I have a little bit firmer pressure when I'm using the side of the brush to pat it down. Also, we worked hard to get the shape of this brush really tapered and pointy at the tip so that you could get right in there to that inner corner of the eye. Nikki also loves to use this, and I've used it too for this purpose, and I love it, to kind of use it, take that tip of the brush right there from the brow and pull down to do a nose contour. Use the side of the brush for that. So the shape of this brush, a lot of detail went into this. It was a very interesting process because, you know, our brushes are produced in mass amounts. You know, we produce thousands of these brushes, right? So there's this interesting balance of like mass production and also extreme detail. When you're working with hand cut and hand shaped brushes, you know, it's like, okay, how far can we take it and still be able to produce it in mass amounts? And we really like leaned in and kind of pushed the limits with this brush. And I'm so happy with this because I haven't really seen another brush like this on the market. I love this also for cream shadows. I like to use, so I always use the MAC paint pots, and I love to use my fingers for that. I'll always talk about how your fingers work great because you can really spread it out and get a nice sheer layer. This kind of works as your finger as well, but having those fibers out there also allows you to feather it out and blend it out just a little bit. It's basically like your fingertip, but better when you're applying a cream shadow product like this. Use the side of it when you're working for that, and then use the tip of it to feather out and blend into the crease. So I like to use this for concealer, nose contour, cream shadow on the lid. You can also use it for like a cream or liquid highlighter if you want a real precision application. You can use it right down the center of the nose for highlight. You can use this for cream or powder products as well. I find myself using it more for cream or liquids. That's kind of what I lean on this brush for. So this is the N16 Pro Concealer Brush. Next up, we have the N13, and this is the Precision Pro Blender. And as you can see, this brush is also that really light fiber that kind of blends up to a soft brown at the tip. Now, Nikki, she really put a lot of detail and thought into all of these brushes, but I remember having conversations specifically about this crease brush because in our BK Beauty Core lineup, we do have many crease brush options to choose from. So she wanted to have a crease brush included in this because every makeup brush set needs a good blending brush. But it's like, how do we make it different than what we have? And I think she did a great job of doing that. And I want to pull it up and compare it to the N15 and the N14 because there was a theme that went into these brushes. And the theme was having that roundness in the brush, but then also having a tapered tip. Now, this brush is going to do a great job of picking up shadow and depositing it. It has enough like stiffness and firmness to really grab product, but it's very soft at the tip, so it's going to blend it out as well. I like to use this brush when I'm working in the crease and I'm picking up color for the crease. Like today, I used for my crease and my lid. I'm going to show you what I did. So I used the tip of it and I swirled the tip of it into my crease color, and then I worked and blended that in. And what I love about this brush is because it's got that little bit of stiffness, like I said, it really picks up product. So there's, you know, depending on what you're trying to achieve, sometimes you want a brush that picks up less product because you want a very soft halo of color. And sometimes you want a brush that picks up more product because you want more of a punch from your shadow. This does a great job of picking up product, but because it has a soft tip, you can also blend it out and shear it out. I picked up this shade right here, and you'll see through the footage that at first I got a light application, and then I went in and I was really able to build this color and get more intensity from this color. This color translated on my skin, I think, deeper than it looks here in the palette, and it was because of this brush. After I got my crease blended, I then picked up this shade right here, and I used the side of the brush. So I went from the tip to the side of the brush. I loaded the side of the brush and I just packed that right onto the lid. And you guys, this packed on shadow on the lid like any flat shader brush would, just as good because it has that stiffness. It really picks up product and, like I said, lays it down. So I use this both for my lid and my crease today. So the N13 is the perfect shadow brush to include in this set because it really can do your crease and also do your lid. The size of it too is perfect. It's not too small, but it's not too large. So it really will work for all eye shapes and all sizes, whether you have hooded eyes or you have very large eyes or even if you have small eyes, it's small enough to really allow you that control. And because it has a very pointed taper tip, it's going to allow you to get in smaller spaces really well. Next up, we have the N12, which is the Ultimate Smudger Brush. I'm going to show you guys this guy up close, because I want you to see kind of how he differs from our current smudger brushes. So he is wider than our other 204 and our 209. He is a wider head. So this is going to cover more area. I like to use this brush for I use it for a couple things, but if you're going to use it for smoking shadow on the bottom, which is what I did today, I actually went in and I used the nude mauve shade underneath my lash line, and then I added a tiny bit of this shade right here, Groove, right on the outer corner. He also has a really soft tip. I'm going to see if I can get some focus on there. I don't know if you can see, but he has a very, very soft tip. So he's got some stiffness to him, which is what you want in a smudger brush. But Nikki also wanted the tip to be really soft. You want the stiffness to pick up product and lay it down, but you want the softness to actually blend and give a very airbrushed finish to it, because you don't want a really harsh line there. You need it to be stiff enough, like I said, to pick up and lay it down, but then you need it to be soft enough to blend it out and make it look pretty, right? And this brush accomplishes both. So I'll use it to smudge out my lower liner. You can also use it for gel eyeliner. If you want to smoke it out and soften it, you can go straight into your gel eyeliner with this. I like to also use this right underneath the eyebrow as a real precise brow highlight. I'll use it in the inner corner to brighten up the inner corner. Nikki was actually in Austin about a month ago, and we filmed a lot of content, which is going to be going up on my channel very soon. And one tip that she showed me is taking this brush and, not just highlighting the inner corner right here, which is what I typically do, but really turning the brush and highlighting in here, kind of on the side of the nose with a matte light shadow to kind of widen and open up the eyes. So I've been doing that a ton lately since this brush. If you are really detailed with a bold lip, you can use this brush to kind of go around your lip line with a little concealer. You can also use this brush to contour the lips if you like to use that look where you take a cream bronzer or cream contour and kind of contour around the lip. This brush is great for that. Nikki actually did that on me in a video that you guys will see soon. So very, very much a multitasking smudger brush, and it really differs from our current 204 and 209 with the size of this brush. It's just going to cover a little bit more area. And last up, we have the N11. This is the Ultimate Angle Brush, and I was so excited when Nikki had this in her brush concepts that she sent over to us, because he is much, much wider than our current 208, which is our actually only other angle brush that we have is our 208, which I love for a real tight winged liner, but he's a small guy. He's very, very small and precise and tiny. And this guy is wider. So you can use him for a couple of things. You can use him to apply shadow onto the lash line. He's also wider than our 208. Our 208's real narrow and skinny. So they're very, very different brushes. Even though they're both angle brushes, they couldn't be more different. This guy has a wider head. So he's going to pick up eyeshadow and apply eyeshadow. He's wide enough to pick up shadow, I should say. He's wide enough to pick up shadow and lay it down and apply it. He's got a very pointed angle here, so you can do a wing out with shadow. You can also use him to wing out or smudge a kohl liner. So if you apply a really soft kohl pencil liner, you can go over it with this guy to kind of pull it out. I used him today and I did just that. I used a kohl pencil, the Urban Decay kohl pencil, and then I went over it with this brown shadow and the Ultimate Angle Brush, and I kind of winged it out a little bit. You can also use him underneath the lash line. So instead of using a smudging brush, you could use something like this, which is going to give you more of a defined, more of a line, whereas it's going to give you more of a softy, smoky look. So both can be used for liner. This is going to give you more of a defined line. This is going to give you a bit of a softer, smoky look. You can also use him underneath the brow if you want to really carve out underneath the brow with a little concealer. That's another pro-inspired trick, is to take concealer underneath the brow, and he will work really, really good to carve right underneath the eye with concealer. So last I have the N11 Ultimate Angle Brush. So that is the 7-piece BK Beauty Nikki LaRose collaboration. I couldn't be more proud of this collaboration and this set, and so honored to be launching this alongside Nikki. So thank you guys for all your love and support. I'm going to have all the details for the brushes in the description box, but they are available today for purchase. You can go to bkbeauty.com and order your set now, and they are shipping immediately. We are ready, you guys. We're ready to get these orders out fast. The 7-piece set is available for $180. I'm going to have all the details included in the description box, so everything you need to know will be down below. I'm also also gonna link to Nikki's video. If you haven't had a chance to head to her channel yet and see her video and her announcement, go check it out because she's doing a full face with these brushes, and I know she's gonna go into depth and detail about how she uses each and talk more about the collaboration and her inspiration for each of these brushes. So thank you all so much for your love and support. I'm so excited for this launch and I just can't wait for you to try them. Have a beautiful day and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.